Today, we're gonna explore the option and go deeper into what we talked about in yesterday's video of what if there only was one way? What if there only was one option? And I want to bring this option to you today, which is unique to your own trajectory and to your own blueprint. And this can all be summarized in I don't really want to call it technique, so let's just call it an art. In the subtle art of staying true. Staying true to that which is actually in resonance with your spirit and with the greater absolute truth that underlines all. And the beauty about this art is that it can be practiced in all different circumstances. All you have to do is become aware of what in the beginning feels true to you. Whether that starts on the more gross levels, so the less subtle levels, like the body, like what feels really true in my body. And from there we can take it a little bit deeper. What is true within my subtle body, my mind? What can I pick up on? What can I be aware of? In what can I rest my attention as being something true in my mind? It might be a thought that truly resonates with who you truly are, or it might be even something deeper, even a feeling, which is actually what we're going to. Then you're getting closer to the quote-unquote, the true X, your unique crystallization, your unique angle of creation, your mission, your purpose. And that is more a subtle frequency, and I want you to tune into that right now. So just close your eyes for a moment. And just take a deep breath. As you gently relax all thoughts, all sensations, and you just give everything back to life. Just for a moment, don't worry, it's not going to go anywhere. Just take a couple of relaxing breaths. As you sink a little bit deeper, you become a little bit more open and you become a little bit more receptive. Receptive to the vibrational essence that feels true to you. And this vibrational essence is always there. Some people experience it in different ways. Some people feel it more as excitement. Some people feel it more as a state of love. Others feel it more as a really light frequency. But it doesn't matter what it is. This is what we're talking about. This is the path of least resistance and the path of highest excitement. It is that calling. It is that subtle frequency that is always calling you. And this is what is true for you. Even if you can give no words to it, or it doesn't say like, oh, this is true. It's just a feeling, a sensation of like, yes, I'm going in the right direction. I'm getting warmer, I'm getting warmer. This is more true, this is more true. And then we want to purify that. We want to distill that so it becomes even more pure, more accurate, even a more pristine vibration that actually embodies who we truly are. And just to take this subtle art of staying true even deeper, you can then also ask yourself the question, once you're firmly aware of this frequency and you are just milking it a little bit, it's just naturally pulsing, like your heart is pulsing, it's unraveling, it's becoming purer, it's gaining more momentum. The more attention you place on that core frequency, the more it lights up, the more your X becomes apparent, lit up, awakened, fired up. And now, to even take this subtle art, which is still the same art, we started on the bodily level, And then we went a little bit more subtle, a little bit more subtle, a little bit more subtle, until we arrived at what goes by many names, with what you can call as the heart essence, or your true path, or your true way. But then even that you can ask, what is aware of this essence? What is in a sense aware of this object? You can turn 180 degrees around and you can become aware of the subject. That which always naturally, evidently is. Which is even more subtle. It's like the sky. It's like space, but even more subtle than that. Because if you think, oh yes, I got it, it's space. Then again, what is aware? What is under that, in a sense? You start to peel back the layers of our perceptions, and then you arrive at what you truly are when you take away all the layers. And the truer, the deeper, the subtler you go, the more pure you become, and the more truthful you become with what actually is. And it's not even becoming, because you already are that truth. It's just that through the subtle art of staying true, it is revealed to you that you are the sun, that you are that brightness that illuminates everything in this reality, including the darkness. From a famous song, Truth, by Alexander Ebert, where they say, your darkness is shining, my darkness is shining, have faith in ourselves. Truth. Alright, I will work on my singing, but still, the point stands. The subtle art of staying true, and be okay with starting sort of at, I don't know where to call it, the top or the bottom. Let's just call it actually to start at the top, like the physical body or the subtle thoughts or the frequency. Ideally, you want to, as soon as you notice, like, oh, I was a little bit lost in thoughts, to then lay your attention, rest your attention, invest your attention in that which is true. And you might have to scan your consciousness for a little bit until you land on that frequency that resonates. That frequency that feels good, because that is the telltale sign. I don't know if I said that correctly. But that is the tell sign, I think you do say telltale sign, that because it feels good, that it is true. Your spirit is allowing you to know, like, this feels holistically good. This feels aligned. This feels in integrity. Then you know you're on the right track. You're following the one way that is for you, the quote-unquote truthful way. And then great, you go deeper in that. You surrender to that. Left and right are little distractions coming up that might take you a little bit away from the truth, a little bit away from the truth. What about this and what about that? And time again, you just return to what's true. And that will become pure, and you can treat it like it's a game. You can treat it even like it's a sport, an art that you're mastering. You're becoming more true. You're becoming the best version of yourself, the truest version of yourself. And this is a worthwhile pursuit. This is something honorable. And there's the layers to it, like I explained with IMX, but we could clear it up in even more layers. But the most important, the most tangible, I would say, are your core frequency, your signature energy, the path of highest excitement, the path of least resistance that is always there. It never leaves you. Even in your most depressed state, you always have access to the light somewhere. Even if it feels like you're at the bottom of a pit and there's only a vague light on top, focus on that light. Focus on that inspiration, that excitement, that passion. That is your North Star. That is what you want to stay true to. That is your unique path, your most fulfilling, powerful path. And don't you want to live this? Don't you want to accelerate greatly down this path? Reminds me of the quote from Rumi. Your heart knows the way. Run in that direction. Throw caution to the wind. Take those steps, take those steps, take those steps. And if you cannot take those big steps, take those baby steps. Okay, go a little bit more subtle. All right, this feels kind of true. I'm not sure if it's really true. Let me go a little bit more subtle. Ah, yeah, now I feel this feels true for the moment. And that could be anything. There's the beauty about sort of the X. It can always shape shift. At one moment, you might resonate with coffee. The other moment, you might resonate with tea. Just a simplistic example that you do not want to hold on to those things because those truths are, in a sense, in flux. They can change depending on what you need in that moment. But the stable fact that you are, this doesn't change. This is the constant. So you also want to deepen a little bit in this, even if it in the beginning seems kind of abstract or very subtle. It is worthwhile to recognize actually the most obvious thing, and that is to recognize that you are. And one of the easiest questions you can ask yourself to review this is to actually check, am I? Am I aware? Just allowing to not answer this question from the mind, but to actually, the mind is searching and then it recognizes, oh, I cannot really give the answer. Then you go to your own awareness and you recognize, yes, I actually are. And then maybe the mind says again, yes, oh yeah, I am. But still, it's in that short, pristine moment where you recognize that you are, that the freedom lies, and in which your consciousness, your awareness lights up. And you'll never be the same again, even if it's a millimeter of being more awakened, more aware. The more you are aware, the more you can shape your dream, the more you can also take your vibration and you can highlight that. You can make it even more clear. You can start to change your dreamscape. And you can actually charter the course, co-create your true path, which, if you're being honest with yourself, is that not the only way that is worthy of your pursuit, of your devotion, even of your attention? Doesn't that which is true for you and for the greater whole deserve attention? Shouldn't we only pay attention, invest our attention, which in a sense is the currency? That's why they say pay attention. You want to pay all your attention. You want to invest all of the currency that you truly have access to, which is your free will, which is your intention, only in that which is truthful. Because then the momentum can start to increase. And you'll also notice that as soon as you get distracted, sort of the light, the love sort of diminishes and goes into the background again. But that's okay. Whenever you remember, you're just again back on your horse and you're like, okay, I'm just cutting through all that is not true with that which is true, with that which feels true to me, and with that awareness of that which is always already true. And this is a quantum staying true method, which we'll explore in future videos, where you're actually the fastest ways to realize I'm already true. I'm already always staying true. There's no way that I cannot stay true. And then by seeing that you're never separate from anything else, you can live more from that expanded space. And you do not have to go through this relative level. You take sort of a quantum jump into greater alignment. But that is for another video. Now, just to honor what we shared in this video, just again, whenever you notice yourself getting distracted, tonight or throughout the day, just become aware of what feels true in that moment and take your time to be like, okay, what is actually true? I'm running around like a headless chicken, but am I actually following a path that is grounded in truth? That is actually bringing me closer to the truth of who I am and what I came here to express. Make this a priority. Make this that there is no other option but for you to follow your truth. Not because you have to, but because don't you want to? Be true to yourself, to the absolute level, to the deepest level. Don't you want to live a life that is truly fulfilling, that is truly honorable to infinity and what is possible? Because truth is limitless. You are limitless. And is your life a testimony to this limitlessness? To this anything is possible? Follow the way of truth. Truth will set you free. Again, to remind you of this quote, enter the kingdom of heaven, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you. Recognize that which is true, listen only to that, and all else will be added unto you. Go in peace, my friend, and stay true. Enjoy the art.